Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we discuss knives for city dwellers. Today we're going to have a look at the QSP Worker and see if it makes for a good urban EDC knife. QSP knife is located in the city of Yangjiang in Guangdong province of China. Yangjiang is known for its knife and cutlery manufacturing industry. Like many of the up-and-coming Chinese knife brands, the QSP team has been involved in original equipment manufacturing, or OEM, of knives for more than 10 years. In 2017, they decided to create their own QSP brand. QSP, Better Knife, Better Life. QSP stands for Quality Service Price. That is hilariously direct, but apt. Can you imagine the brainstorming session for this name? We need a good name for our knife brand like Cold Steel, Spyderco, Viper, or Kaba. I know, Quality Service Price, QSP. Jokes aside, QSP does offer budget-friendly knives of high quality. They adopt precision working procedures such as water jetting, vacuum heat treatment, computerized CNC machining, and CNC grinding. Each QSP knife is carefully inspected before shipping. And as you can see, it's also packaged very nicely. This is a cardboard box that's made of very stiff, high-quality cardboard. It's got a drawer-style box opening like this. And inside we have the knife and a leather sheath, as well as some product information. It's got some specifications on this particular knife and some warranty information as well. Let's take out the items from the plastic and let's have a closer look at the knife. This is a very handsome gentleman style knife, a modern gentleman's knife. Very nice stainless steel bolster, and this is a snake wood handle. Originally I wanted the G10 black handle because when I looked on screen at product descriptions on websites, this snake wood handle didn't look as nice, but I can tell you when I looked at it in person, it definitely looks better. So I'm not sure how this looks on camera, but I can tell you generally looks better in real life than on screen, and that's why I chose it, even though it's a bit more expensive. This is a sheep's foot style blade, pretty long blade, and it is a very handsome gentleman's carry knife, and it is a traditional lockback folder as well. Well, before we get into the specs of the knife, let's compare it with some other knives. Let's start with the Civivi Rustic Gent. This is also a lockback, a gentleman style modern folder as well. Of course, slightly smaller and a difference in the blades. This is the Benchmade Foray. And this knife over here, also what I consider another gentleman's knife, although this is a axis lock. And finally, let's look at the Civivi Trailblazer, which is a slip joint, but also can fall under the category of a gentleman's knife. And finally, as always, an Altoids tin. Let's have a quick look at the specs of the QSP Worker. This knife is designed by Arthur Brem out of Germany. The blade length is 3.5 inches long, close length at 4.25 inches, and an overall length of 7.75 inches. This has a really nice thick blade stock at 0.13 inches, and the weight of this knife is 4.27 ounces or 121 grams. The blade steel is really good. It's Bohler N690 and Austrian steel. N690 is a stainless melt alloy, very stainless as it contains 70% of chromium. Takes a very fine edge, holds it a little better than ATS 34, 154 cm or VG10. The hardness of N690 steel is between 55 and 60 HRC. This range makes it a hard steel, associated with the high amounts of carbon in its composition. The added cobalt, a very hard and heat-resistant metal, also contributes to the hardness. N690 is also very tough. As a rule, you can get either high hardness or toughness from steel, but never both. However, it is different for N690 steel as it offers both. So it sounds like an incredible steel, right? And it's even easy to sharpen. The blade style is sheep's foot with a satin finish. And as mentioned earlier, this is a snakewood finish with stainless steel bolsters. And the liners are also stainless steel. Now, there are other handles available such as black G10, blue carbon fiber, and green bone. The locking mechanism is a lockback. It's very smooth in its action, good lockup, and the pivot assembly is ceramic ball bearings. Now, in terms of carry, it's a deep carry with a tip-up right carry pocket clip, Not super deep carry because you'll just see a tip of the knife over there. In terms of hardware, we do have Torx T8 and T6 bits or screws which hold the handles into place. Overall, it's a very solid construction, and it feels, feels solid, it feels hefty, and in terms of ergonomics, feels good as well. Now, with an urban EDC, a gentleman's knife like this, you don't expect much heavy hard use, but even with hard use, not too much of a hot spot. This doesn't really press too much into the skin. In fact, maybe it's the liners which might be more uncomfortable if you're holding something really tough and really trying to use it hard. But if not, you should have no problem with these ergos. Let's talk about how to carry this knife. Now, it comes with a very handsome sheath, very high quality sheath, thick leather, well stitched together. It's got the QSP logo over there. Now, there's no clasp or kind of holder to close it shut, so you just put your knife in like that and it holds it in place. Pretty solid fit. It's a friction fit, but I wouldn't run around with this too much. You could, I guess, use the pocket clip and clip it that way for even more secure fit. So that's how you can bring this knife along. Of course, you can put it in your pocket direct with this pocket clip, or you could use this sheath with the belt loop. My EDC holders might be too small for this knife, except maybe the ARC Company Rambler. Let's look for that. Here it is over here, and this is made of canvas, but is made large enough for medium-sized knives like this. Okay, I'll put it this way with the pocket clip. That fits in very nicely, and I still can put in a flashlight, in this case the Olight IT5 EOS. I believe it should be able to fit. It's a bit of a tight fit. Never done this before. Let's take this out first, see if we should put this in first and then put in the knife. Reasonable fit. Still a bit big because normally it's supposed to be completely flat, so I guess you could technically put this in, and if you wanted to force a pen, in this case the Zebra extendable pen, that can all fit in one package. This can go into your pocket, although it is pretty big because this would kind of scrunch up. It doesn't lay flat in the pocket, so I guess you could just carry a pen and the knife like that, and that's nice and flat. If not, just use the sheath that came with the knife. The retail price or MSRP for this knife is $105.70 US dollars, but you can get it for just under $90 from some dealers. Now, as mentioned, there are different finishes for the handles. The knife blades are all the same, but for the handles you can get green bone, which is about $80, carbon fiber at $85, and finally you can get the G10, which is the most inexpensive, at about $77. So different options at different price points. So the golden question is, does the QSP Worker make for a good urban EDC knife? Personally, I think if you're looking for a nice modern gentleman's folder, this fits the bill. It is a bit big and hefty. It is a 3.5-inch blade, but because of the sheep's foot, it is not too intimidating. I think if you bring this out, people might just think it might be a crafts knife, utility knife, or maybe even a food prep butter knife. And just the way it looks, because it's got this wood grain, at least for this particular finish, it might look like just a big version of their grandfather's knife. In terms of its performance and metal, I think no doubt that this particular blade, in terms of its thickness and the steel it uses at N690, will have no problem, performing any urban EDC task. So overall, I think this will make for a good urban EDC if you're looking for a large style gentleman's folder. But what do you think? Do you think that this makes for a good urban EDC? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in this channel, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. As always, keep it folded, keep it safe.